getting emotional. So that's why I'm not going to go into like, what happens in the play, particularly towards the end, because I can't. Number one, I don't want to spoil it for you. Number two, if I do, I may start breaking down, and I don't like to do that in front of the camera. I have a couple times, but I take about 10-second pauses, and then I snap back. But if I don't do that, I could weep in front of you, and that's why another reason why I can't talk or won't talk about the play. So the run completes, and I've seen every performance. I know JP, of course. So on the last night, there's, tends to be like a little hubbub around the stage door. The actors, some of the friends, and the director, and maybe a couple audience members. Now, I was an audience member on the last night at the stage door, but I was also a friend of JP's. So it gave me reason to be back there, is because, I was congratulating JP, we had done the play, blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't prepared, or I don't know what I was prepared for, but David Marshall Grant was sitting right there, a couple people down. I had sent him 2 dozen roses on closing night, anonymously. I had seen every performance of the whole run, and I just was compelled to give him something, but I didn't want to really identify myself. And then, JP, I don't know if it would be mentioned. Well, I was closeted, of course. So the roses are there, and David is there, and I'm here, and I'm talking to JP, and I look at David, and he looks at me. Now, obviously, he knew I was the guy, dead center, watching him for the run. In fact, I don't think I'm delusional, but having seen every performance, there were times when David Marshall Grant was in front of me, so to speak, on stage, and looked me in the eye during some of his dialogue. So obviously he knew who I was. Obviously I knew who he was. I'm the one that sent the roses anonymously. He knew they were from me. There's just no way they couldn't have. And it wasn't a smiley moment. It was just a deep 5 seconds, and that was it. And that's all I needed, in a way, because his performance and that material allowed me to step onto my own stage, not be watching the stage of what's all coming and what emotions were flying through my head. Seeing that, at some point, having seen that, whether it was full force or partial force, I stepped onto my own stage, metaphorically speaking, figuratively speaking, whatever. And I never left. I never changed. I met Tim, and my life was about that annihilation that was detonated, seeing that play. And I was, having been detonated and been given a language for someone that was being annihilated emotionally soon, closeted, again, in my own way, differentiated, of course, from the situation in any camp. I am not at all trying to compare anything of my own to those horrors, but those horrors in that material absolutely just completely wiped me out. But I was on my own stage, so to speak, for better or worse. So he got the roses. I got to look at him, have my moment, have my moments in the audience, hoping or thinking or that David was playing to me, but he was playing to everyone, because he was and is, or if he's still with us, again, I don't Google my shows, a brilliant actor. So really that's where I'm going to leave it. There's really not much more to say. I know I'm keeping you long on these enthusiastic ones, but I really wanted to share that. I've seen the film very, very recently. There's a lot of differences, but the material is still in there for the most part. So it was, again, sort of hit me like a brick when I saw it recently, because I hadn't heard that dialogue since 1987. All right, I'll leave you with that. Take good care of yourself. As I say, take good care of those that you care about, and they care a lot about you. You're going to need them. Trust me. And other than that, bye. Love you.